The sun was setting over the small village, casting a warm orange glow over the thatched roofs of the little cottages. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the sound of birds singing their evening songs. In one of these cottages, the 5 children were getting ready for bed. They lived with their mother and father in a cozy little house with a big garden full of trees, flowers, and a small pond. The oldest child, Emily, was a gentle soul with long, curly brown hair and bright green eyes. She was helping her mother prepare the bedtime routine, making sure each of her siblings had a fresh towel and a clean nightgown. Next in line was Jack, a rambunctious boy with a mop of messy blonde hair and a perpetual grin. He was busy trying to catch the last few fireflies of the day, laughing as they flickered and danced around him. The twins, Lily and Rose, were sitting on the floor, playing with a basket of soft, colorful toys. They were identical in appearance, with their long, straight black hair and big brown eyes, but they had distinct personalities. Lily was a bit more adventurous, always looking for the next exciting thing, while Rose was more cautious, preferring to stick with what she knew. The youngest child, little Benjamin, was sleeping peacefully in his crib, surrounded by soft, white blankets and a mobile of gentle, swaying stars. As the children got ready for bed, their mother called out from the kitchen, "Who would like a warm cup of milk and a cookie before bedtime?" The children all cheered and clapped, and Emily helped her mother carry the tray into the bedroom. The room was filled with the warm, comforting smell of fresh-baked cookies and the sound of happy chatter. The children sat on the bed, sipping their milk and nibbling their cookies, feeling grateful for this special time together. As they sat there, Jack looked out the window and said, "The moon is rising, it's like a big silver plate in the sky." Emily smiled and said, "Let's go outside and see it up close." The twins jumped up, excited by the idea of a nighttime adventure, and little Benjamin stirred in his crib, murmuring softly in his sleep. The mother smiled and said, "Just for a few minutes, but then it's time for bed, my dear ones." The children all nodded, already feeling the soft, sleepy feeling that came with the night. The family walked outside into the garden, feeling the cool night air on their skin and the soft grass beneath their feet. The moon was indeed like a big silver plate, hanging low in the sky and casting a gentle, silvery light over the garden. The children looked up at it in wonder, feeling the magic of the night all around them. As they stood there, the sound of crickets and the rustle of leaves filled the air, and the children felt their eyelids growing heavy, their bodies relaxing into the peacefulness of the night. The children stood in the garden, gazing up at the moon, and the mother sat down on a nearby bench, watching them with a warm smile. The night air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and the sound of crickets provided a soothing background melody. Emily sat down beside her mother, and the twins wandered off to explore the garden, their laughter and whispers carried away by the gentle breeze. Jack remained standing, his eyes fixed on the moon, his face filled with wonder. The mother put her arm around Emily and said, "Look, the stars are coming out." Emily looked up, and together they watched as the stars twinkled to life in the night sky. The twins returned, holding hands, and the mother said, "Let's take a walk around the garden and see what other magic the night has to offer." The family set off, strolling along the winding paths, taking in the sights and sounds of the garden at night. The moon cast long shadows across the grass, and the trees seemed to whisper to each other in the wind. As they walked, they came across a small clearing, and in the center of it stood an old, gnarled tree, its branches twisted and tangled. The children gathered around the tree, running their hands over the rough bark, and the mother said, "This is the oldest tree in the garden, and it's said to have secrets to share with those who listen." The children leaned in, as if to hear the tree's whispers, and the mother continued, "Legend has it that on nights like these, when the moon is full and the stars are bright, the tree shares its secrets with those who are willing to listen." The children looked at each other, their eyes wide with excitement, and the mother smiled. "Let's sit down and see if we can hear any of the tree's secrets." They sat down at the base of the tree, and the mother began to tell a story, her voice low and soothing. "Long ago, when the world was young, the tree was a small sapling, and it grew up listening to the stories of the wind and the sun." The children listened, entranced, as the mother's story wove a spell of peace and wonder around them. As they sat there, the night deepened, and the stars shone brighter, and the children felt their hearts filling with a sense of calm and contentment. The mother's story came to an end, and the children sat in silence, taking in the beauty of the night and the magic of the old tree. After a while, the mother stood up and said, "It's time for bed, my dear ones. The night has been long, and the morning will come soon." The children nodded and slowly got to their feet, saying their goodbyes to the tree and the moon and the stars. As they walked back to the house, the mother put her arm around Emily and said, "The night has been full of wonder, hasn't it?" Emily smiled and nodded, feeling grateful for the special time they had shared together as a family. The twins were already yawning, and Jack was stumbling, his eyes half closed, and the mother smiled, knowing that it was time for bed. They reached the house, and the mother opened the door, and the warm, golden light of the interior spilled out, welcoming them back into the cozy world of their home. The children said their goodnights, and the mother tucked them into bed, one by one, feeling grateful for the love and the peace that filled their little family. As the last child drifted off to sleep, the mother smiled and whispered, "May your dreams be sweet and your rest be refreshing, my dear ones." And with that, the house grew quiet, and the night deepened, and the moon shone down, casting its silvery light over the sleeping family, filling their hearts with peace and their souls with wonder. The mother stood in the doorway, looking at her children, feeling grateful for the love that filled their home. She smiled, remembering the night they had just shared, and the secrets the old tree had whispered to them. She took a deep breath, feeling the calm and peacefulness of the night, and then she turned out the light and closed the door. The house was quiet now, the only sound the soft breathing of the children, and the occasional creak of the old wooden floorboards. The mother walked back to the living room and sat down in her favorite chair, feeling the softness of the cushion and the warmth of the blanket that covered her. She looked out the window, at the moon and the stars, and felt a sense of wonder at the beauty of the night. The world was quiet and still, and the mother felt her heart filling with peace and her soul with calm. As she sat there, she felt her eyelids getting heavy and her breathing slowing down. She thought about the story she had told the children and the secrets the old tree had shared with them. She thought about the love that filled their home and the peace that filled their hearts. And as she thought, she felt herself drifting off to sleep, carried away by the gentle rhythm of the night. The house was quiet now, the only sound the soft ticking of the clock, and the occasional hoot of an owl in the distance. The moon shone down, casting its silvery light over the sleeping family, and filling their hearts with peace and their souls with wonder. The night was deep and dark and still, and the world was at rest. As the hours passed, the mother's breathing slowed down and her body relaxed, letting go of all tension and all worry. She felt her heart filling with love and her soul with calm, and she knew that everything was okay. The children were safe and sound, and the world was at peace. And as she drifted off to sleep, she smiled, knowing that the night would bring them all sweet dreams and refreshing rest. The house grew quieter and quieter until it was completely still. The clock stopped ticking, and the owl stopped hooting, and the only sound was the soft rustling of the wind through the trees. The moon shone down, casting its silvery light over the sleeping family, and filling their hearts with peace and their souls with wonder. And as the night deepened, the world grew quieter and quieter until it was completely still. In this stillness, the family slept, surrounded by the love and the peace that filled their home. The night was dark and deep, but it was not scary, because it was filled with the soft, gentle light of the moon and the warmth of their love for each other. And as they slept, they dreamed of sweet things and wonderful places, and their hearts filled with joy and their souls with peace. The night wore on, and the world remained still and quiet. The family slept, surrounded by the peace and the love that filled their home. And as they slept, the world slowed down and came to a gentle stop, like a soft, slow river flowing into a peaceful lake. The night was deep and dark, but it was not scary, because it was filled with the love and the peace that filled their hearts and their souls. And in this peace, they slept, surrounded by the soft, gentle light of the moon and the warmth of their love for each other.